Hello, and welcome to Dad's Ad Job Podcast, the original footballing podcast for dads by dads. This is your host, Adam Neverbarrow, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Rob and Cal. Cal, boys, how we get
So,
on?
have I frozen?
Both frozen. Both frozen. Right. Boys, how we getting on?
No, Callum's frozen.
Rob, how you getting on?
I am doing pretty well. Callum hated your introduction so much that he froze out. But yeah, no, good week. Actually, I know that
Well,
am I breaking up?
a little bit, yeah, but go on, keep going, keep rolling,
Oh, okay, maybe it's me.
mate.
Start again.
We're live. Don't say fuck or bugger. It's fine. Don't worry, go, keep going.
Right, am I still in? Am I good now?
You're still good. Go on, keep going. This is the beauty of podcasting, isn't it? Let our listeners know that we are amateur.
Rookie. No, I know we've got a topic to talk about today, but just had Danny's first parents' evening, and it was absolutely banging. Proud dad moment, mate. Every single teacher, and you don't know what to expect because you only get what your kids feed you, right? So when
Future convict?
Nah, it's more that, do you know what? It was just really nice because it was validating. It was validating because it was validating for him to hear people saying those things about him. But it almost felt like Kelly and I were being validated as well because we've been telling him this stuff, right? And I feel like he thinks it's just our obligation to say nice things about him, right? But actually to hear the stuff that we're saying being echoed back by the teachers, so that I kind of had the luxury of being able to say, see, like you've got something, right? Like they were talking about how he was like charming, he was a lovely young man, and like I want him to do well at school, but I want him to be a good person, like I don't care if he comes out with 9 nines and he's an arsehole, then what have we achieved? Like if he comes out and he's a good person and he's he's okay at school, then I just feel like that's a much better achievement, and I think he'll do much better because of it. Having worked in schools and worked with young people for 20 years, like I believe in the principle of being a good person first, and to hear them saying that he was a good person, but then he's also trying to apply himself, he's trying to improve, and that he's showing more confidence and he's growing into that. One of the assistant or deputy heads were talking like he had the makings of a future prefect, like just the things that you want to hear. Like I don't care if he goes on to be a prefect or not, but it was just nice to hear what we believed echoed back at us, and it was really good for him. Like you could see he was quite moved by it, and Danny can be quite emotional, but he's not necessarily like always easy to read in terms of what he's actually thinking. And you could see him thinking like, wow, these people, this is like 5 people now that have said the same thing, and it's not my mum or my dad, so that was really nice. But I know that's not the focus. I'm sorry about that. I just went off on a tangent, but I was just like proper like proud dad moment. Sorry. Yeah, so that was my week. I mean, it wasn't my week, that was my day. I've had a great week as well, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to segue right off in the direction. And segue actually is a good segue itself because we're talking toys and things then and now today. And so I guess I just wanted to have a talk about the things that we were playing with and enjoying when we were young, and then in a way measuring them up against some of the things that our kids are playing with and enjoying today. I suppose I have a bit more of a luxury than you guys because I've got a 4 and a 12-year-old, so I've got quite a wide spectrum. But I wanted to start talking about the things that we were playing with first. So right off the bat, who had a Game Boy?
Yeah, I had a Game Boy.
I was very late to the Game Boy game, I must admit, being a gamer.
I had the Game Boy Advance as well, mate.
Yeah, that was my first one. That was my first Game Boy Advance.
I had a
And,
limited edition lime green Game Boy as well, which
ooh.
my dad sold, which is probably worth a lot more money now. But Dad sold it for £5 at a boot fair.
I've still got my purple Game Boy Color. And
Oh, mate, that's a classic.
And do you know what, guys? Still got Pokemon Red and I.
I've got Pokemon Blue upstairs.
I've still got Pokemon Red in it.
My sister-in-law has got the Pikachu Pokemon Yellow one.
Yeah, I had that as well.
Yeah,
I downloaded that one onto my Switch. So good.
Has anyone seen that TikTok thing where you can buy like 10,000 games in one Game Boy?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? The original. I'm actually really tempted to buy that.
Apparently, you can buy it at IKEA.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
Oh.
It's a reason to go there and get meatballs, isn't
it? Yeah. I mean, my first Game Boy was the Game Boy Advance, but it was the crystal purple one.
Yeah.
And the first game on there was the Mario Kart, but I can't remember. And there was another game. It was like Final Fantasy, but it wasn't. Something
Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it was that. It was
big game. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I was fairly late to the Game Boy. Yeah, but I only played that on my mate's Game Boys because I didn't have one.
Cal, who was your starter Pokemon?
I always went Bulbasaur, or obviously Charizard, but
made the first two bosses easier if you went Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Sometimes I went for Charizard, but you'd have to train the hell out of your peacock. What's it called? The
Pidgey and the Butterfree.
Pidgey, that's it. Thank you, Pidgey. Yeah, you'd have to train the hell out. You'd literally have to get full evolution. What's it? Evolution. Yeah, to be able to do the first. Yeah, evolution to get to the first two bosses.
Mate, if you had a decent Butterfree, you're all right.
And a Butterfree, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I always went
Ratatouille as well, mate. Not Ratatouille. What's it called?
Ratata.
Yeah. Ratata. You'd have to train the hell out of them to get through the first two bosses.
Man. Well, if we're going to talk about Pokemon, we've got to talk about our Pokemon cards as well.
Don't talk about my Pokemon cards. I've got a really bad experience with Pokemon cards.
Yeah, me too.
I've lost thousands of pounds, because I was I don't want to go into it.
I absolutely want to unpack this with you, Adam.
Well, okay, so I am getting into obviously the Pokemon cards and stuff like that. I was buying them and I was trading them and stuff like that. But there was a fair in Romford. I think it was like Romford Market or something, and they used to do like
I used to go there and get them.
They used to buy your cards off you, but they used to do like free swaps and stuff. So I always liked Moltres. I always liked that bird things. I always liked playing with that when I was playing the games and stuff.
Yeah.
But I had my pack of cards, but there was one card that I had, and I'm still kicking myself to this day knowing how much it's worth now. And I had the Blastoise shiny card, and someone traded me it for like 5 cards or something. And at the time, I did not realise. But then going back and people telling me, "Do you realise how rare that card is?" I was like, "No." So I've lost a lot of money.
Well, Adam,
purely because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into with the card trading.
Well, Adam, if you want to learn about idiots and cards, why don't we go over to Callum and he can tell you about his experience with cards.
Thing is, I don't really know if I want to
ginger
tell
kid for
my
a Blastoise, and then
because Mum and Dad still don't know about this. So, Adam, I'll tell you a true story. I had all 152 original Pokemon cards. Every single one, you name it. Charizard. Basically, Bulbasaur, the whole shebang, mate. You name it, every single one. All the shinies, all the rare bird Pokemons, Mewtwo, and what's the other one called? Mew and Mewtwo had literally the whole shebang. You name it, had every single one. The original Pokemon cards, yeah. Some of them first edition, and when Pokemon cards started to come back into fashion a few years ago, Yeah, I took them into school to show my year sixes when I used to work at a primary
I've heard
school.
this story. Go on, continue.
Yeah.
I have heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, basically took them in to show my children, put them in my office, left them for the day, went back to my office at the end of the day, just threw them in the back of the car because I had like all in sheets, so they're basically near enough mint, most of them, because they were in like little. I literally got them and put them in a sheet. Obviously, just picked the folder up, put them in the back of the car. Halfway 6 weeks holiday because it was the end of the term. Because the kids kept bugging me about bringing them to show them. Anyway, halfway through 6 weeks term, was cleaning out the car. I think we was actually giving the car back, if I remember right. I can't remember. Like we had finance car. No, not finance car, like lease car. Sorry, so we was giving it back.
For another accident.
Yeah, let's not talk about that either. Anyway, I thought, do you know what? Let's have a little butcher's because I looked at them since, and I thought, just have a little look. And as I then open it, every single shiny had been taken.
No
But
way.
obviously, the only children that I showed were the year 6 children. And obviously, one of them had gone back into my office afterwards and nicked the cards. But obviously, when I went back in September, I couldn't actually collar any of the kids because they've all gone to secondary school. They'd all transitioned to secondary school, so I couldn't even go who's nicked my cards because they'd gone. So for ages, it absolutely ate at me because I like to think someone wouldn't do that to me because I used to leave my stuff, like my wallet on the table. You know what I mean? I didn't think a kid would do that to me. Then again, I have got inklings that he could have been a staff member as well because there was a staff member who was added. No, he wouldn't do that. No, I'm joking. I take that back. He wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely
it
staff
literally
member.
ate at my it actually still hurts me now to even think about it. But we had I don't think the Charizard would have been like £1 million Charizard, but it might have been a couple £100. That, to be fair, it was like a little. It wasn't mint, but it was like a little nick at the bottom corner. And I think there was a slight nick at the top as well. But when you sort of see what the prices are, I mean, it's not about the prices. It's more the fact that how much my mum put an effort in to try and get them for us. And
yeah,
as you just said, it's literally all original 152 Pokemon. And you look through it now, and it's like all the original. Some of the originals, the earlier evolutions, that I've got first edition, Pikachu still left because the kids were too thick to actually realise that it said first edition or whatever. But I've got stacks of them this thick, where there's first edition, I don't know, Rattata or whatever, and I've got 3 or 4 of them within that. So I've not actually looked to see how much them ones might be worth because but they are mint. But all my shinies, the rare. The only thing I have got actually is a Manchamp that is a first edition that they didn't take, and I don't know why they didn't take it. And it actually is a first edition, and it's not mint, unfortunately. But it's obviously not a Charmander either. And I remember feeling, when something happens and you feel sick as a dog. I know it sounds stupid, when you think I've really messed up here, and you think, oh my god, there's no coming back, and that's for months and months and It's oh mate, and you just think, and the thing is, I can't even get. I remember meeting a kid about a year later, and I was like, "I showed you my card. Do you know anything?" Yeah, and I remember saying something really horrible, like, "I really hope whoever nicked it, something really bad happens to him." Hoping that he might know or he might go back and thingy, but the other side of me thinks that I worked in a deprived area, so the other side of me thinks that maybe it actually helped him out and I don't know, got him out of trouble or something. I don't know, but hopefully something good comes of it. I don't know. That's my way of thinking anyway. But
I just saw.
Go on.
I just googled the 15 most valuable Blastoise Pokemon cards, and I've just found the one that I had. How much do you reckon it is? It was how much do you reckon the one that I had was sold in 2021?
62 grand.
No.
250 grand.
No, not that much. Not that much.
13 grand.
500.
£6,581. And I spot it. If only I knew.
Paul.
Do you know what else is sad, Adam? Do you want to hear something else? I had all the Pikachus that you could have got at that time. Like a set, like surfing Pikachu, birthday Pikachu, all them. Yeah, they nicked that as well. Like yeah. But like I say, in my head now, I think, hopefully it's gone to someone who actually generally needed it, and I don't know, it's helped them out or something. But at the time, I wanted them to like choke on their spit. But now looking back, I'm sort of like, well, hopefully, them kids, it's whoever it was, as it's helped them out. But at the end of the day, it's a piece of card, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it is a piece of card.
Piece of card worth £1,200. Right.
Yeah. So what other toys were in your lockers?
All right, Cal. I got this one for you. Woody and Buzz.
Yeah.
No.
I've still got my original, and I've got a new one, an original.
I've got my original too.
My original. If you put my original with the one that I bought a few years ago, like the standard has massively dropped by Disney. I mean, it is like a no-brainer. Honestly, it's Adam. Next time you come around, I'll show you, and even just the quality of the stitching and like it's ridiculous. Like
I want you to show me your Woody, mate.
No, it's ridiculous. Honestly, you literally be like these kids, and it's probably like 10 times the price of what I paid. Like we paid for the original as well, makes it even sadder. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even I showed Heaven, and Heaven was like, "What? This is that? It's like crazy."
Yeah.
So what did you have then, Adam? If you didn't have a Woody or a Buzz, Slinky?
No, because I had a hula hoop and a stick. No.
Stones. He had stones and chalk.
I had a mirror. I had to be.
That's scary.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I did have a good amount of toys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we lived in a 2-bedroom flat, but my bedroom was covered in toys and stuff like that. But I was fortunate enough to have grandparents who went to Disney before I did, and they brought back a load of Disney toys when I was very young. So, so it worked out that my granddad had retired, but he went with another couple to go to Florida, and they ended up going to Disney while they were there. So they went to Disney, but because he had 4 grandchildren, he bought all Disney toys and brought them all back. I think he actually bought another suitcase to actually bring all these toys back. And I had all the hard plastic original characters like Mickey, Goofy, Minnie Mouse, and they were like proper hard, rigid toys. And I think my mum might still have them up in the loft where she's living at the minute. But yeah, and funny enough, Connie's got my original Tigger teddy bear that my nan and granddad bought me as well. And that's in her room at the minute. So that toy is like near enough 40 years old, that one.
That's banging.
Yeah. I mean, other toys really, it was more football, mate. As cliche as it is, it was more like Subbuteo and pro action football and that sort of stuff. But then obviously getting the proper mat was always challenging. So every time I played Subbuteo, there was always a bubble in the carpet.
Yeah, we didn't have Subbuteo, did we, Cal? Blimey,
no. When we the thing is, I'm like, it's so hard because I was trying to sit here and think about toys that I can actually remember playing with, and there's only a few that sort of come to mind, and it's, as you just said, it's football. All I remember is having football, cricket, and literally playing in the garden.
Oh, and what was the cricket game?
Brian Nara cricket?
No, I mean actual cricket.
I remember the cricket game.
It's like it was like Subbuteo, wasn't it?
Pull back to hit the ball.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
But I remember literally just playing that, and then I remember having like guns, like because I'm a massive cowboy fan anyway. But having guns and like role playing, and literally like playing cowboy and Indians. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I remember playing cowboys and Indians. Action Men was I just remember hours of just fighting, literally like fighting, two action men just beating the crap out of each other and smacking each other's heads and doing
We
stupid
had
stuff and
so
flips in
much
the air.
fun. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
so much fun with our action men.
Yeah, I mean, when I do you know what my biggest memories is playing playing WWE with Rob. I remember doing that, and it's like, I mean, I was telling my kids at school actually, like the other day, and I was like, you lot don't know how to play anymore. Like, all you do is play computer games, or well, they don't play computer games anymore. All they do is text each other. I was like, you lot don't know how to live. Me and Rob at your age, like me and my brother at your age, would get the what are they called, the cooking dishes? What are they called? I can't, mate. What the hell are they called? Huh?
Frying pan.
Trays. Do you know baking trays? Adam, you know a baking tray?
Yeah.
Adam, yeah. You know what we used to do with the baking tray?
What you used to wrestling?
Yeah, you know the baking trays that you have in the oven for like putting
Yeah.
stuff on. I was saying to the kids, we used to get the baking tray, right? And you know how it was like tables, ladders, and chair matches.
Yeah.
We used to get
chair.
them and literally smack each other over the head with these baking trays. And I was like, kids, we used to go full out, smacking each other's over the heads with these baking trays. Yeah. And we used to have to try and bend them back into shape and put them back in the oven, pretend our mum didn't know that we had them. Like we'd been knocking each other. Literally, I mean, I'm telling you, we used to fold him in half where we'd smack them so hard across each other's heads. Right? Like, it's just nuts.
We used to do
I've
it,
got a
but
story about that.
we
Go on,
never
mate,
could do the wrestlers' music. So it'd be like we'd be doing like a Royal Rumble, right? And if you ended up on the sofa, you were out, right? So I'd be like, "Oh no, Shawn Michaels is coming in." Do, 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 do. Oh
Yeah,
no,
it's so.
Taker's coming in. Do, 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 do. Everyone just had the same music, and we do like this little walk-in, and then just pulverize each other.
Do you know? Yeah, Rob. I was trying to explain to one of my boys at school the other day, right? And they were talking about stuff, and I was like, "Mate, are you like you say you got hurt because of that?" I said, "My brother got put through a plastic table, power bombed by our cousin, and you're moaning about that."
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
true.
"You ain't lived, fella." I said,
I thought
"Mate,
I was broken.
don't come to me and say this has happened to you." I went, "My brother got power bombed through a plastic table, and you want to come to me and say that you ain't lived? Don't like go away."
Dead. I'm nearly dead, mate.
Do you know what my kids at school are doing at the moment? You know, back in the day, Rob, you remember we used to, or like Adam, you must have done this. You know, back in the day, you go through that phase where you flick each other's like nuts. Yeah. You think it's bad, you go, way, and you go, whoa, flick each other's nuts.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Like, yeah, do you remember that? He come up
Yep.
to me and he was like, "Oh, he's flicking my nuts." I went, right. And I went, "Well, I can't, like, what you, like, tell him to stop then." Like, so I pulled him over and went, like, you know, obviously I'm a teacher, yeah, so I go like, "Listen, you can't do that. It could affect this, it could affect that. It's not a joke." Da, 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 da. And I'm sitting there, in my head, I'm going, "Mate, I used to tombstone my brother. I used to literally tombstone my brother, and you're coming over to me and going, he's flicked me in the nuts." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's minor. Like, full out. I mean, like, literally, like, full out, jump off the floor and go down with my brother's head. Like.
I should be in a really bad way, to be fair.
Yeah, like.
I mean,
do you know what I
when you mentioned the dinner trays, that I was actually talking about this at my dad's 60th with a very close friend of the family, the Clark family, and that Bradley used to get the table trays, and I'd always go around his house. I'd always be around there playing Pro Evo or whatever, and he'd get the steel trays out, and he'd go bang over my head and bang. Anyway, his old man used to come home from work because he used to work with my old man, and he'll go and have his dinner, right? But when you're talking about bending them back in shape, we didn't do that. So he's got the steel tray down. He's put his dinner plate on the table and it's wobbling. So he's trying to eat it. It's like he's just moving from one side to the other. And he goes, "Bradley, you've been doing wrestling again?" Bradley's not here. It's the Beanie Boys or something like. But yeah, it was. That was good times. That was good times.
Rob, I think it's time to come clean about the old Raj situation.
No, I came back. I came clean about that years ago.
You sure?
Yeah, basically, this is it's going to sound like we fabricated this story, right? But my friend Raj came home from school, right? But we were playing wrestling, right? God, this is going to sound so bad. But Raj was adamant. Raj was adamant there was only one wrestler he wanted to be, right? And he was like, I don't mind what we do, but I have to be Tiger Ali Singh, right? That was all he wanted to be. He was like, I'm going to be Tiger Ali Singh, right? Anyway, we're wrestling and shite, yeah? And he climbs up onto the sofa and he jumps off the sofa and does this like tiger kind of like yoga pose. And he just jumps in the air. And he knocked the fixture off the wall, like the light fixture off the ceiling. It like rocked back and forth, and then the glass just crashed on the floor.
But no, Rob. Everyone paused, and I swear to God, Adam, it took like 30 seconds or 40 seconds to hit the floor. I remember just sitting going, "Oh my God, it's falling! It's falling! It's falling!"
And we had the lie we told my mum. I did come clean about this, but the lie I told my mum was that I was teaching Raj how to bowl for cricket, and that he swung his arm round, and then he just punched the light thing, and it fell off. Right, but this thing was like it was quite. I mean, it was a vulgar thing anyway, but it was like this fitting that hung from the wall, and then it had like this.
It was a chandelier, wasn't it? A chandelier.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a chandelier. It was like an ironwork chandelier. It wasn't like a real chandelier.
And Mum had to get the thing specially made, wasn't it? It was like a specially blown thing or something.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to remember, we come from nothing. Like so, like it was like something nice that we had in the house, and we come from nothing.
Yeah.
And it was like the only nice thing that we had, and it was like
there were other nice
Mum was fuming about it.
And Dad was like, "You were teaching him how to bowl cricket, boy." Yep, that's what happened.
I'll tell you what, Adam, you talk about fighting. I've got another Jackanory for you. Actually, do you know what, Rob? I was looking back at the wedding speeches actually, and you mentioned this. So there was this one time that we were wrestling, right, and Rob had done something to his knee, and he was on crutches, right. So Rob was on crutches. I can't remember if he did ligaments or he was on crutches. Anyway, Mum and Dad had gone shopping, so obviously it was our chance to have a fight. So we were doing wrestling, right? And me and Rob were like proper going through, like as you say, power bombs, suplexes, all this sort of stuff on the
I'm on crutches, by the way. Like,
yeah, Rob's on crutches, full on crutches, yeah. And this is no word of a lie. All you hear is boom, 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 boom on the window, right? So me and Rob have looked at each other, gone, "Oh, mate, Mum and Dad are home." Obviously, Mum and Dad are home. Rob, remember, we've been fighting for 2.5 hours or whatever it might have been, yeah, literally full out, throwing punches, suplexes, all this sort of stuff. While Rob's meant to be on crutches, all of a sudden, Rob jumps up, grabs his crutches, even though we've been fighting this whole time, yeah, starts hobbling down the corridor, yeah, right, and I hear the bathroom door lock. Anyway, I'm now sitting in the living, like sitting in the living room, Dad, boom, 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 boom on the door, yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, mate, like, what am I going to do?" Obviously, Rob's gone to hide, knowing that someone's going to get a whooping. Yeah, I've gone, right, I've got to go and answer the door. I walked to the front door thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get absolutely battered." Yeah, open the door. Dad pushes past me, runs down the corridor. Yeah, all I hear, literally, the lock break off the door where he pushes the door through. Yeah, the toilet door. All I hear is, yeah. And then Dad's coming back down the corridor, and I was thinking, "Oh no, it's my turn. It's my turn. My turn." Yeah. Oh, Dad comes literally nose to nose with me. He goes, "At least you had the bollocks to open the door."
The reality was, though, I was the oldest, so I always got the beating first. Story, so true.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were upstairs fighting. Callum started the fight, right? And I finished the fight. And then Dad came upstairs. He looked at me. I went, I just looked at him. I went, "Yeah, it was me." But Callum wanted to fight. And I was like, "Yeah, it was me. You might as well." Like, I know we've got to wrap this up because we're going to talk about football. But I just wanted to drop one more toy that I'm so disappointed that you didn't mention, Cal. And I'm going to sing lyrics, and then you're going to know why. All right? Ready?
Yeah.
What baby ball is it?
Hello. Ready, Cal? Yeah. Like a bird in my mouth.
Oh, mate. Adam, you have no idea. I freaking loved that thing. I would still play with that now if I had it.
What is it?
Oh, mate, it was my pride and joy. I actually forgot I had that. It was my. I would buy one of them now. If they got that on eBay, that's a present.
What is it? What is it?
Oh, do you remember McCorney? Oh, what's his name? McCorney Courtney. Was it? No, is that his name? What's his name?
Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone 2, Talk Boy.
Yeah, you know the Talk Boy.
Yeah.
I had one of them, right? Anyway,
Oh, right.
I obviously thought I was going to be a singer-songwriter, and I wrote this song.
He
Can I
wrote
just
this
say
song.
that
He
you
had
actually
one line. He wrote this song, it had one line.
no, they actually like if you actually would have boosted me up, I reckon I could have gone on to do something. But they actually ruined my career. No, I don't think it's funny. Seriously, I remember being at the time going, "I'm dyslexic. I can't read and write. This is my thing," and I got mugged off so bad. I literally, Adam. I don't listen. I've got trauma over this. I don't think it's funny. But honestly, Adam, yeah, him, Mum, and I think it was Sheila next door as well. What makes it even worse, right? Literally, I remember running into the living room. They're sitting there, and I remember going, Mum, look, listen to what I've done, right? Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to do it because Rob's obviously mugged me off, right? That was the line of my song, and I remember, going, or some Rob obviously pissing himself, obviously as you can see, yeah, and then Mum going, yeah, or something. I can't. It might have been she. I can't remember.
You got to sing the line. Sing the line.
No, I'm not going to
please.
do it. No.
No,
I can't
please.
do it. No. I remember she
Please.
going, yeah, I don't think that's going to make it, or something along the lines. I was like, well, okay, well, that's it. I don't know what to do with this thing anymore.
To be fair, A Bird in My Mind is quite a good lyric. It's a good lyric. It's just one lyric.
What sort of bird was it, Cal? You were thinking?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what I think it come from? I think
Robin?
it's like I was watching Michael Jackson. I can't remember. It was like the Earth song or something.
That's what it was, right? I was about to say that, Cal. He thought he was Michael Jackson, so the way he sang it was like a bird in my mind.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's where it came from. I'm sure it was the Earth song, 100%. Yeah, what about? That's how I sang it.
Wasn't it? It was more like it was a bit like what's the song from Free Willy?
Ah, it was. Yes, you're right. It was. It was.
That one.
How's it
That was
gone?
a beautiful song. It's a good
That
film.
was a fantastic song.
But yeah, okay. Sorry, Adam. I know we went off tangent, but I had to mention the Talk Boy.
No, it's still a toy, mate. It's still a toy.
Home Alone
Still
2,
trauma. Still
Talk
trauma.
Boy. So good. And and to be fair, Callum loved it, but
I did love it.
I was low key so jealous that Mum and Dad didn't buy me one. I don't know what I got that year. I can't remember. It might have been a cricket bat. But I was so jealous that Callum had that Talk Boy because it was such a banging present. It was such a good present.
I know you want to wrap it up, Adam. I know you want to get. Oh, hello. Oh, Adam.
You still there?
I know you want to wrap it up. Sorry, I dropped the phone. I know you want to wrap it up, but just before, because obviously I know the new generation, all they want to talk about is computer games. But we've got to have a special mention for the Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye, and
WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and also PlayStation and SmackDown game,
We'll
LMA
do an
Manager.
episode on it, mate.
LMA Manager.
Yeah, we've got
100%.
to talk about them. I mean, what we should do is, all right, let's leave that and let's talk about computer games on their own at another time, because
okay.
I mean, I'm not a massive computer game fan, but my God, the hours we spent on them.
Well, let's do computer games next week then.
All right, I'm up for that.
Yeah,
we should. Okay, well, that wraps up another weekly episode of Dad's Ad Job. This was part 1 of the podcast, but if you want to listen to part 2, where we stream live on YouTube, please go onto our YouTube channel at Dad's Ad Job podcast. And yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks for listening. Cheers, guys.
Take care.
Night.